Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Excalibur Data Systems Roundtable Tech Talk. I am Mike Fuson. I'm joined today by one of our partners, CG4, and Will Barrowes from CG4. Will, thanks for joining me today.
That's a pleasure, Mike.
So it's always fun to talk about asset tracking and barcodes and RFID tags and all this fun stuff. And so as Will and I have kind of been brainstorming on what are some of the ideas to share with you guys, Will was talking to me a bit about one of the challenges that came as a result of work from home. And for so many businesses, there's still a work from home aspect to what they're doing. But one of the challenges that came out of that was really the whole complexity of issuing equipment that folks are going to take home versus them being able to like easily swap it out in the office and track that, where they may need to bring something in that's broken or something may need to be shipped when you have folks that are truly remote, and you need to track, well, what do they have? Did we get back what they sent us? And all of those sort of things. So, Will, talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing, because I know you guys have worked with a number of customers that have very effectively tackled this challenge.
Yeah, it's I wish it weren't as many as what I'm going to say, but like we've talked with many customers that say, our priority one was keeping business rolling, and that involved just buying a bunch of new equipment, getting it out to the employees. And priority down the list X position was, okay, now what did we send to these people? And they would say that, we really have no idea what we've shipped out to the employees and what they've got and what they don't have. And because again, the first job was to keep business moving. Now they're trying to recoup and figure out, okay, this might be an ongoing thing, and so we need to have some processes in place to track what we ship and what we get back from them.
Well, that's a really good point, Will. I saw for many of our customers, and there's one I'm thinking of where I just recently had this exact conversation. Basically, as things were closing down, they said just take everything on your desk and take it home. So
Wow.
two monitors, a docking station, keyboards, mice, and they didn't know what, just people took home what they needed to take home. And then as they were getting ready and preparing to bring people back in the office, they wanted stuff that they knew had been sanitized, because they had gone through some changes as a business. And I've seen this with a few of our customers where they've shrunk their footprint, where people are desk sharing, because everybody has the same or similar laptop, so it uses the same or similar docking station. Monitors are monitors, but keyboards and mice that might be wired into the desk, they wanted to be able to sanitize those. So they bought all new keyboards and mice for every desk, new docking stations for every desk. They replaced monitors where needed, and they've gone through a whole process leveraging CG4 to inventory what's where now, because they weren't maybe tracking monitors before, but now, like you said, all this stuff goes home and they're going, how much money do we have in the monitors, right? Not that they're so worried about the costs, right? Because they look at it as a cost of doing business, the cost of keeping business running, and monitors, as we all know, are relatively inexpensive anymore. But they want to know, okay, what do folks have at home? And part of that is as you have changes and departures from the organization, you want to make sure we're getting the equipment back. And they've built a whole sanitization process for when they get equipment back. How is it properly sanitized and handled? How is it tested? How is it then inventoried and in many cases stocked? Because if they bring a new employee on now, they have a set of equipment that they're going to use in the office and a set of equipment that they're going to use at home. And for them, they think these are sunk costs. We've got the investments in these docking stations and monitors. Let's make it easy for the employee to transit between office and home as appropriate. But we know who has what. And we've talked about this on a few of our other videos. One of my favorite customers, they use the little speakerphone pucks from Jabra, and they're about $300 a pop, right? And they had a bunch of them sitting in IT, and people could check them out. And they built a checkout process in CG4 to know who had it. Then the pandemic hit, and it was every man for himself. And some people still had those, and
Right.
some people came and said, "Hey, can I have one?" And they weren't, they were just making sure everybody had what they needed. Then they said, "Where the heck are all the speakerphone pucks?" Because somebody came and said, "We need to order 15 more." Wait a minute, that's a $4,500 expenditure. Again, for a lot of businesses, not a killer. But is that $4,500 we need to spend?
That adds up.
What happened all? Because then you got monitors, and then you got keyboards, and then you got mice, and then you have this, that, and the other thing, and it starts to add up very, very quickly. So what are you seeing customers do to help overcome these challenges? How are they leveraging CG4 to make their process better?
Well, a couple of steps would be like every time they ship something out to a customer or to an employee, they would scan it as they ship it out and indicate who it's going to, and then you could some customers, and of course the reverse of that when you're getting equipment back from the employees, but some customers even have the employees scan the assets that they've got in their possession so that they can just do like a little home inventory, and it just you just open up CG4 and go bip 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 bip, and then you're done. And so those are a couple of the ways that people have tried to get their arms around a little bit.
And that's probably something to really point out is CG4 is not limited to the big heavy duty barcode or RFID scanners. CG4 has a mobile app for both Android and Apple that can be used. That could use the camera. And in some cases, with customers where they have, say, a service desk that's just doing a loaner thing, rather than investing in a big honking scanner, because they're not doing, that's great for if you're doing inventories or large things because it has a lot of capabilities built into it. But if they just need to scan 3 pieces of equipment out here and there, like a loaner laptop here and there, they can use a cell phone or a tablet for that matter. And there are Bluetooth-enabled barcode scanners that make that process a little bit easier. I know I have one that's looks like a little rectangle, and it's got the little light emitting thing on the end of it, and you hold on to it, it flashes, and it can get it, and it'll read it back in to whatever program you want to have it read back into. It makes it real easy to do that check-in, check-out process where it's an occasional sort of thing, and the big scanners are able to be used for inventories and warehouse situations or shipping and receiving, where there's a lot of things going on all at once.
Yeah, the big scanners do really well if you've got some low light conditions maybe, whereas the camera, then you got to fuss with getting the flash on and that kind of thing. Or if you need to scan thousands of assets in a day, you'll want one of those big ruggedized scanners because you can go bep, 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 bep really fast, a lot more quickly than if you're using your camera as your barcode scanner. But like you say, for the onesie twosies, it works out great.
Well, and I hadn't really thought about that. Hey, Mr. Employee, as we're doing a true up on our inventory, can you do us a favor and scan the things that you have at home for us? And CG4 with CG4, the thing to understand is from a licensing perspective, the mobile apps are a concurrently licensed thing, so you can go a team at a time. And set up, and you can set up users, and with the security, you could limit them to the one module, as we call them in CG4, that's going to do the home inventory module. Hey, bring it up. Pick your name from. We already know your name because you're logged in, and we want to have you go ahead and just scan the barcodes on all of the devices that you have there, and that's going to feed it back to us, and then we'll figure out what we do with it from there.
Right.
We've already built in a process, so it makes it quick and easy to each day maybe have a team. Some do it in the morning, some do it in the afternoon, and we can track how are we doing on different individuals in getting their scanning efforts done, and in partnership, like in our case with Sharewell or whatever your IT service management system is you could build processes to see if they've scanned in their current home inventory and true that up. And I start thinking about that is especially a challenge where we really, a lot of businesses started to understand that the remote worker is something that can be effective. I know for a lot of customers that I've talked to and fellow business owners as well, where before they wanted somebody local, as the pandemic moved on, they were able to find a great resource to be their marketing director or serve in this role or that role within the organization. But that person, maybe we're based here in Pittsburgh, maybe that person's in St. Louis, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right? Can they, we all learned work from home.
Right.
And systems are now in place to make that possible for businesses that didn't have it in place. For many of us, I know CG4 and Excalibur, we have people spread out all over the country, and so it wasn't a big transition for us. We were already doing it, but to be able to easily do that inventory of items, it's something that was easily done. So you start to really think about that. Okay, now that remote worker, we can really have that remote worker. We know what we've sent them, and if that remote worker separates, we know what they should be sending back.
Right.
And we have that ability to really track it from before it gets put in the box to when the box was shipped and handle the whole shipping and receiving process, going out and coming back in. That's leveraging the technology to help make our lives a little bit easier. And as we always say with CG4, what we're really upping is our accuracy levels. We're making it easier, so we're going to be able to do more, but we also know it's going to be more accurate,
right?
Because the technology is going to let us ensure accuracy is there.
Right, and with the better accuracy and the easier methods for doing things, more likely it'll get done, and you'll be able to make better decisions on how to manage your assets.
Absolutely. Well, Will, as always, it's a pleasure kind of sharing the tales of CG4 and how CG4 can make a customer's life better. We encourage all of you out there, please contact us here at Excalibur. We'd love to get you hooked up with the team at CG4 and talk a little bit about how CG4 Asset Tracking can make your organization more efficient, better, and more accurate. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Will, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
We'll see everybody again soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye.